This one thing has been what has allowed me to initiate as the lower libido partner, even when I'm not raging full, hot, and horny. It has been what has allowed my partner to create safe spaces for me to say yes to invitations, even when I'm busy, even when it's the last thing on my mind, even when I'm feeling not the feels. And all without forcing myself, all without him forcing me. And most of the time with the result of us having a great connected time.
Welcome to the Sex After Kids podcast, a place for parents to come and learn together about the sometimes bumpy road back into the saddle of their sex life after adoption, childbirth, or joining a blended family. I am your host, Sophia Ashley, certified sex educator and sex coach, mother and stepmother, and your totally TMI guide to becoming BFFs with your body and initiating easy, connected, and confident, naked, sexy fun times. Here we are, one part science of sex, one part mindfulness magic, and one part straight up real talk to help you find the spark in your relationship and yourself after kids. I am so glad you are here.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Sex After Kids podcast. It has been lovely to take a little break while family was visiting, and I am also super pumped to be back here with you. Today, I want to talk about kind of like the one big linchpin, the one big key that has been kind of central to me reinventing my sex life this last time through an autoimmune disorder, through birth trauma, through painful intercourse, through all the reasons that our bodies don't want to have sex. This one thing has been what has allowed me to initiate as the lower libido partner, even when I'm not raging full, hot, and horny. It has been what has allowed my partner to create safe spaces for me to say yes to invitations, even when I'm busy, even when it's the last thing on my mind, even when I'm feeling not the feels. And all without forcing myself, all without him forcing me. And most of the time with the result of us having a great connected time. And I'm going to kind of talk about this one thing, or this really important kind of secret weapon, I guess you could call it, through the lens of a bedroom dispatch, because, I love opening the doors to my bedroom for you, through something that happened like last night, actually. So last night, my vagina had a full blown fucking tantrum. And I mean, this is vulnerable to share, right? Like, I'm a sex coach. I have a real sex life just like you. I am always working on things. I mean, I got into sex coaching because I struggled with orgasm, because I struggled with painful intercourse in my 20s. Like, sex has not been a thing that was like easy and natural for me in my 20s. And I've gotten so much better, and there's always stuff to work on, right? And so, context, my husband had been away for a couple of days for work. He was back, and I was looking forward to getting intimate. We had gotten intimate before he left, and it was actually really juicy. And, I'm not anywhere near my period. I'm not anywhere near my luteal. Like, conditions are looking good. We had a window, like everyone got to bed at a pretty regular time. And I could tell that like something was kind of off in my body from the outset. And he was like making some jokey, playful initiation. And I was kind of sassily shutting him down and being like, you might want to ask that differently. And so I knew from the beginning that my vagina wasn't like super stoked to get on board, even though intellectually I was like, I love this person. I want to play with them. I want to have some connection time. I'm enjoying the connection time we have. And so that might be a familiar sensation for you if you're listening, if you're a lower libido partner. And it might be a familiar sensation for your partner if you're a higher libido partner, and maybe something you can get curious about and ask them about when maybe like there's a difference between their heart and their head or their vagina, right? If we use that kind of as a proxy. Because the whole point of like why I started this as the Happy Vagina Project was that I was at war with my vagina in my 20s. And I really felt that last night. I was back to this place where I was kind of battling my vagina. I wasn't really slowing down to listen to her. And I paid the price. She had a big fat tantrum, and I'll talk about what that looked like. So, we're getting ready for the evening. I'm kind of skirting around it. I'm hemming and hawing. I'm thinking about all the work I need to do and whether I'm going to try to fit some more in tonight or not. We're in the bedroom. He's kind of laid into bed. I'm just sort of lying on the bed. And he's just like, well, I'd love to just like go down on you for 15 minutes and then maybe you could climb on top of me. And I'm like, okay, like I can say yes to the you going down on me part to start, and we'll see where that goes. And that's what we did. And, the hard part for me here is like I have been struggling with the orgasm piece lately. I've been struggling a little bit with painful intercourse. I think I've done a couple episodes on this about how what to do when big feels come up during sex. I'll list some of those episodes below in the show notes if you want to check them out. But I've been having a lot of big feels. I have a spot on my vagina, on my vulva, where I tore with both deliveries. These were low grade tears, like level 1. I think I got a few tiny stitches the second time. And I still have this one spot that is tender, that is sore, and that's asking for my attention. And anytime I do somatic release work on it, my pregnancy and my delivery with my son, my youngest, is what comes up. So whenever I do that work, I'm always still shocked and surprised that there's still trauma there from my pregnancy and my delivery with my son. There are still big emotions there that are causing restriction and a tightening of the muscles, which means pain, which means less blood flow, which means harder orgasm, which means all the things. And this must be something that this is something that a lot of you are probably experiencing, maybe with or without knowing it. So I have been struggling with this recurring pain, which brings up emotion, which my default is to bypass and ignore. And the thing is, sometimes that emotion comes up as like sadness, but usually the first thing to show up isn't like the birth trauma, right? The first thing to show up is frustration, annoyance, boredom, and a lot of finger pointing at my partner or finger pointing at my vagina, right? So I'll get into this like, why aren't you cooperating with me mode? What's happening? Why is this taking so long? Why does this hurt? Again, this is the kind of narrative that comes up that shows me that there's something deeper going on. But I often still, right, either don't want to go there because it feels scary, right? Your body's like, we've been burying that for a while. We don't want it to come up. So we just avoid it. We stay stuck in the annoyance piece. We bypass it. And what I used to do in the past was just like switch to let's fuck and stick it in me and let's get it over with. And then I don't have to feel my feels and we can kind of move on. Right. And the backstory to this is like I'm still dealing with pelvic floor dysfunction, right? Like I had my last kid almost 4 years ago. I had my first 7 years ago. I have seen pelvic floor physios. I have had relief short term, and I still haven't quite cracked the code on this. I'm not getting to the root of the issue. And I don't notice it a lot because I just like avoid activities that are going to make me like pee or kind of notice my pelvic floor dysfunction. But recently, I've been dealing with a lot of symptoms, and I think that has put me on edge in a very subconscious way, right? So, whether it's like going to the bathroom a lot, whether it's just like how much I can feel down there, I am doing work and exercises right now, and I think that's waking things up and reconnecting my brain to my vagina and creating different sensations. And I have I have very like low grade prolapse and erectocele. And so that's creating all kinds of stuff for me. And all that stuff is creating discomfort, which is creating like a low or high grade notification from my vagina to my nervous system that this is not an area that wants to be visited right now. It's feeling tender and it wants to go into protection mode. Okay. So I wasn't really listening to that. And I my brain, I couldn't get my brain onto the wavelength of working with that, right? Because all of that is, and we may or may not have talked about this on the podcast before, but I think it's easy to treat that information as a red light. That's what your nervous system wants. It says red light, it puts up the tape, the police line tape that's like, this is an off limits, under construction zone. Nobody is allowed in here. And actually, the opposite is what's needed, right? We need to visit our vagina with compassion, with space, like we need to visit a kid that's in the middle of a tantrum and just sit with them and hear their feels and let them like vomit out whatever they're feeling so that it can pass. And then we can move through that and we can remove the like police tape and actually come back and visit again. So I didn't quite approach properly, right? Like he was going down on me, we're going slow, we're doing the thing. And I think it's partially because I'm feeling irritated now that almost every time we have sex, I'm feeling like it has to be somatic sex. I'm feeling like it has to be like go slow, visit my vagina time. And really, actually, what this is, as I'm talking to you here, is a sign that I need to start doing some somatic masturbation practice, some solo practice, where I am clearing out this work on my own so that when I come into partnered sex, some of that stuff is cleared out and I don't have to feel like every time we have sex has to be this like big somatic focus time. And if I'm honest, and this like might make me cry a little bit, like I think I'm feeling guilty about that. I'm feeling guilty that last week when we had sex, which I posted about on my stories, I knew I was going to need to do some work and I went in with the goal of doing that work and we like took the time and made the effort to do that. And it's not even like it took an exorbitantly amount of time. It's really about intention. Am I going in with the intention of this being a healing experience for my vagina? Or am I going in with the intention of this being like playtime and exploration time, which is different, right? Because if I'm going in with the intention of this being healing time, I know I'm probably going to cry. I know emotions are going to come up. I want to prepare myself for that and go in with that mindset, right? With that intention. If I'm going to just play and like get out the handcuffs or whatever, like that's a whole different ballgame. So I have been frustrated. I have been annoyed. I've been sad. I've been maybe feeling like I'm a bit of a burden or like my vagina is a bit of a burden that she's been needing this extra TLC right now, which is unfortunate because what it means is stuff is bubbling up and ready to be processed and ready to be let go so that my pelvic floor can heal and so that I can enjoy my sex. And I'm actually just putting the light bulb together right now. Like, oh, fuck yeah, reminder is like I'm doing this pelvic floor exercise work right now. And that's totally why it's bringing up these emotions. Ding, ding, ding. One is related to the other, my friends. So, back to my story. He's going down on me. We're doing the thing. I'm experiencing the usual uncomfortable sensations and I'm fighting it. I'm like, I don't want to fucking ask my partner to slow down. I don't want to get him to like press. I don't want to breathe. I don't want to feel my feelings. I don't want to. So I did my usual. I was like, okay, I need a break. I need us to move to something else. Got on top of him, experienced a lot of weird sensations, I think, with my prolapse, which were new to me, which were very uncomfortable. So then we're having sex. I think he can tell I'm a little uncomfortable. Like it started off pretty good. And then the erotic energy, like, when it just like dissipates and you're like, we're doing the do, but there's not this like, I'm so into this feeling. And so I pause a little minute to kind of check in with him. I'm like, "Are you good? Are we still good? Like, what's up?" And he's like, "Yeah." And I'm like, "I just need us to like fucking get this over with. Like, I am not comfortable." And that should have been the moment. Like, I was not fair to him. I really didn't give him room to I gave him the impression I wanted to continue, right? And he could have stepped into that moment to go, "Okay, time out. Like, you don't seem good. Let's pause." But I think he's always mm, tentative because he wants to make sure that it's what I want, right? Because he knows there are times when I just want to power through, and there are times when I do want to like pause and sit in with the emotion. And often when he invites me to pause and sit in with the emotion, I tell him I don't want to, right? So I am the one bypassing myself here. And um I was the one who was like, let's just kind of get this over with. And it actually ended up pretty good. I enjoyed myself. But I was kind of like irritated and frustrated. I was like, it's not feeling good. I'm not good in my body. Like, I'm annoyed right now. Ugh, this is my vagina having a tantrum, right? She's going, "This sucks. I'm not into this. Hello. I am feeling my feelings." And I can feel all these emotions bubbling up. And I'm like, not wanting to deal with them. I'm just like, go away. Can I have a fucking orgasm? Okay. Right. So we end. It's awkward. Everyone's quiet. I go to the bathroom. I take care of myself. Everyone's doing their thing. We're walking around the house. I take a deep breath and I go up to him and I'm like, "Hey, I'm sorry. That was not cool that I did that to you." And what I mean by that is that I um basically made him I insisted that he continue to have sex with me when we both knew that my vagina was having a tantrum and we both knew that I was not having a good time. So I go up to my partner after and I apologize. I'm like, "You know what? I'm sorry. That was not fair. It was not fair of me. It was not fair of me to insist that we continue to have intercourse when it was pretty clear my vagina was not into it. And I don't want you to feel bad and uncomfortable right now, like, cuz I don't feel good about how that went." And he was lovely and just kind of held space for me. And that's, finally after all of that, because I didn't give myself self-space during sex, is when I had this tantrum, right? Where I was just like, I'm just so annoyed. I'm so tired of the leaking. I'm so tired of the symptoms. I'm so tired of being aware of my vagina all the time. I'm so tired of pain during intercourse. I'm doing yet another fucking course. I'm working with yet another pelvic floor physio. Like, I just keep doing all the things. I'm not getting results. Like, nah, 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 into the negative spiral, right? And that's when the tears come. And he just holds me and gives me a big hug. And then I go back to my room and I'm able to kind of reframe it a bit, right? I tell myself the story that I'm telling myself right now is that I'm broken, is that this is never going to be fixed, is that I've tried everything. And then I reframed it because I have seen progress before. I just haven't continued it. I know that it's fixable because I've seen it be fixed. And I know that I'm on the right track because sometimes things get worse before they get better. And my body is freaking out because I'm asking it to change. I'm asking it to get out of a comfortable pattern. I'm asking it to stop ignoring this like low grade discomfort and step into something new. But all of this to say that my nervous system is speaking pretty clearly to me right now. And the one thing, the one key that has really been pivotal for me in recreating my sex life after each kid, really, but in particular this last one, has been this awareness of my nervous system and this awareness of stress on the system and how it creates this shutdown. So whether it comes to initiating and my partner asks and I freeze and half of me wants to and half of me is not sure if it's worth the effort, whether it's in the transition phase, if you're familiar with my naked fun time cycle, if the transition phase of moving from a yes, I think I could into sexy time, where I get stuck now, where my brain says I'm taking too long, where my brain says this is uncomfortable, where my brain is bracing, my vagina is bracing for a not good time, whether it's in the actual intercourse itself, whether I'm plowing through and ignoring my need to stop and slow down, or whether it's in the debrief, right? Like we managed to debrief after a little moment. It took me some time to calm down myself before I was able to like vocalize a debrief with him, right? This is how nervous system shutdown and overwhelm shows up in all of these phases. And just because I have mastered or really worked on the nervous system piece in the initiation mode, we can get through initiation now pretty well, right? I went through at least a 6 month dry spell where I was saying no all the time. And now I'm initiating regularly. I'm saying yes regularly. We've got past that part. And now my body is asking me to tune in and sharpen up my nervous system skills in the transition phase, in this early part where I am bracing for the discomfort that's coming and ignoring that my vagina is saying, like, proceed with caution. And the proceed with caution doesn't mean don't come here, it means slow down and it means come with a different intention. We need to do some healing right now. You and I, girl, she is asking me to talk to her. And masturbation and solo sex, not just like rolling your porn tape, but like doing intentional masturbation and solo sex with the intention of doing healing, with the intention of triggering those emotions safely so that I can allow them to just come up and out is what's going to take that load off and help me to proceed to the next level and the next level and the next level. So, whether you are still struggling with initiation or whether transition or actual sex and orgasm and painful sex are the thing, your secret weapon, and whether you're the low libido partner or the high libido partner, your secret weapon is this knowledge of the nervous system and the body. It's this awareness of how all your past experiences, whether it's trauma from your birth, whether it's struggles during fertility, whether it's all the times your partner asked and you didn't want to and you did anyways because you love them, whether it's past experiences, all of these stack up and add up. And if your vagina is having tantrums these days, tantrums in the sense that she is like shut down and said, I don't even want to talk about this anymore, or tantrums in the sense that she like literally has a tantrum, like I basically had like a toddler tantrum in the middle of sex last night. That is communication from your body. And instead of thinking of it as something negative, right? Instead of spiraling into I'm broken and this is never going to get fixed, I want you to reframe that into this is actually a good sign. It means that you're finally tuning into that dialogue and it means that you can actually do something about it. Now, it means that that dialogue, sometimes it's so buried, we are stuck in numbness and complete shutdown. And so when we're at frustration, irritation, whether that's in sensation, so irritation when we're being touched in that part of our body, or frustration, irritation, boredom as an emotion, that means we've made progress out of shutdown and numbness. We're moving, we're shifting things, and we have to keep going to find our way back to the pleasure piece. So I hope that is all making sense. I hope there is something that's resonating here for you. And if there is, like, this is why I created the Roommates to Romance Challenge. Okay. So the reason I created the Roommates to Romance Challenge is I was talking to a lot of papas in particular who have tried all the things. They feel like they've tried all the things. They feel like they are picking up more around the house, that they've done more of their share of the mental load. I'm listening to their story, not yours. I understand, but they do feel like they're putting effort in there. Many of them have gone to counseling. Many of them are working on trying to create safety for you, even though they may have thrown tantrums kind of in the past around sex or still do. Many of them are frustrated because their partners are at this place of it's like, do not pass go, do not collect $200. Don't talk about it. Let's not proceed. And this is a nervous system challenge. And many of you lower libido partners might be in the same place. And so I used to kind of give the advice of like, let's talk about it. Let's have a conversation. Let's see if we can get real about what it is that we want to do and what the challenge is here. And I do think that's important at some level. And also, if you've been trying to have the conversation for a long time and you're at the point where the conversation's going in circles, to the point where your partner's like, I don't even want to fucking talk about this anymore, or talking about it just creates stress, then this is why I created the challenge. So the challenge gets you out of talking about it. The challenge gets you out of pointing your finger at your partner. So as a higher libido partner, out of being like, we just need to fix their libido. We just need to fix their body. We just need to fix this, fix this, fix this. Okay. And it gets you back into your empowerment, because as the higher libido partner, we don't have a lot of the control. Our partner's body has the say. Our partner leads the show, essentially, or the lack of show, essentially. And that can feel really frustrating because we feel like we don't have anything to do anymore, right? We're just there waiting now, waiting. And so this challenge is 14 days of things that you can do regardless of your partner's participation or engagement in them. I think of it as like an experiment. And what we're doing is creating the nervous system safety. Now, I've designed it for people who are specifically at the place where like there's shutdown around initiation. So but it can work as well for people who are like past that phase. So this is kind of like perfect for the person, the higher libido partner who's like, I don't feel like I can touch or flirt with them anymore. I can't talk about this with them anymore. I don't know what to do. What you're going to do is the challenge. It's 14 days of done for you prompts. All you do is open your email each day and do the thing that I ask and observe what happens with your partner. You focus on the one thing you can control, which is you. And you're just doing these small daily experiments, which is meant to get you to a place where you are able to flirt, where you are able to connect, or you are able to, at the very least, initiate a connection date, which might be something that feels foreign. And if you're already in a place where like you're pretty good and you just need to next level, it's going to help you to initiate sex and naked fun, as I like to call it, more smoothly and with more yeses than nos. If you're getting the I'm too tired, or I really want to, but I'm stressed, or I'm bloated, or I'm whatever, this is going to help you find a way past that that's not manipulative, that doesn't bypass your partner, that doesn't force your partner, that feels good for both of you. So, if you want to get in on that, the challenge is on sale right now for $9. It is less than the price of a latte. You can start this week. I'm just putting together the final details, which means you could be having sexy time by this weekend. If you want to get in on the wait list, the best thing to do right now is to DM me on IG, just the word romance on Instagram, or you can send me an email with just like sign me up for the challenge, and I'll make sure to put your email list down. I'm super excited for you to try this. This framework is what has helped me to master that first part of the cycle. It has helped me to go from a 6-month drought, essentially, where I was constantly giving my partner the I'm too tired, constantly feeling frozen, and I'm not sure if I want to, and I think I'd like to. And then you can move on to solving the new problem that I'm having, which was my body throwing tantrums about wanting to feel even safer during sex itself, right? So there's always work to do. There's always work unfolding, but we need to push that first domino over. Make sure you send me the word romance either via email or in Instagram, and I will get you all the deets, and we will talk to you next week.
This is the part where we do the end bit, right? My friends, let's take a mindfulness minute here. Take a deep breath in. Open that mouth and let out a big, deep, full body sigh. Voila. Your nervous system thanks you. Thank you so much for being here today. I hope that your head and your heart have something new to consider, something new to talk about, and something new to try. No husbands were harmed in the making of this podcast, and a big thank you to my husband for his help and original music composition. Love you, babe. This podcast was recorded on the traditional territories of the Kwanlin Dun First Nation and Tonquachan Council in Whitehorse, Yukon. We acknowledge and are grateful to the original stewards of this land where we get to play, live, and raise our children. You can catch me on the Instagram at the Happy V Project for tips, tools, and anecdotes. And you can also join the weekly-ish newsletter for dispatches from my bedroom and my brain. Also, head to thehappyvaginaproject.com to learn more about how you can work with me. Catch you next time.